Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. NHK reports that World Trade Organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has issued a stark warning, stating that the global trading system is currently facing its biggest disruptions in 80 years. In an interview with NHK in Tokyo, she attributed this crisis to various factors, including tariff actions by the United States and other diverse measures implemented by WTO members, largely because the system has not adapted to modern challenges and undergone necessary reforms. The WTO is actively trying to reform its decision-making process, which is often paralyzed by the requirement for consensus among all members. Despite a ministerial meeting in March failing to adopt a work plan due to disagreements, Okonjo-Iweala stressed that progress has been made and that the WTO remains highly relevant, with 3/4 of global trade still conducted under its terms. She also highlighted the substantial impact of the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz on global trade, particularly its critical role for East Asia's energy supply, where 1/5 of the world's energy flows through. Okonjo-Iweala expressed a desire for Japan to encourage other nations to reinforce the multilateral trading system. Close advisors to former President Donald Trump have issued a stark warning following last week's U.S.-China summit, indicating an increased likelihood of China invading Taiwan within the next 5 years. This assessment, reported by Axios and cited by UPI, highlights deep concerns about potential disruptions to global semiconductor supply chains. Sources close to Trump noted that while the former president appreciated Chinese President Xi Jinping's elaborate hospitality, Xi's underlying message conveyed a more assertive China, viewing itself as an equal to the U.S. and claiming Taiwan as its own. This perceived shift has led some within Trump's circle to consider the Taiwan issue as the foremost risk in U.S.-China relations, cautioning that the U.S. economy remains ill-prepared for such a crisis due to its heavy reliance on Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing, for advanced chips. The summit is believed to have heightened geopolitical risks rather than yielded diplomatic gains. According to Sinuanet, U.S. President Donald Trump stated on Monday that a positive development was underway in relations with Iran, suggesting the two nations might be nearing an agreement. His remarks came hours after he announced a postponement of planned military strikes against the country. Trump noted that this situation felt a little bit different from previous stalled negotiations, where a deal seemed imminent but ultimately failed. He revealed that Gulf states had requested a delay in the attacks, originally scheduled for Tuesday, for a few days, a pause that could potentially extend further. The president reiterated his firm stance that Iran must completely abandon its nuclear program and formally commit to this in writing. According to UPI, the United States and China reaffirmed their mutual commitment to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula during a summit between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing last week. While U.S. officials and diplomatic sources confirmed the discussions, no detailed agreements on new pressure measures or a diplomatic roadmap for North Korea were publicly disclosed immediately after the May 14-15 summit. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer also confirmed the leaders' agreement on the denuclearization objective. This reaffirmation comes as North Korea continues to reject denuclearization talks and advance its nuclear programs, leading analysts to believe Washington and Beijing still oppose recognizing Pyongyang as a nuclear weapons state. However, it remains uncertain if this understanding will translate into stronger coordinated pressure on North Korea, as China has recently resisted additional UN Security Council sanctions and condemnation against Pyongyang. The Trump administration, despite its official denuclearization goal, has yet to outline a detailed strategy. In a recent interview with Fortune magazine, former U.S. President Donald Trump reiterated his concerns about Taiwan's dominance in the semiconductor manufacturing sector, lamenting that there would be no Taiwan if he had been president earlier. Trump asserted that his tariff policies were instrumental in encouraging the return of chip manufacturing to the United States. He argued that Intel should have been the preeminent global company, eclipsing TSMC. He also recounted an instance where he invited NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang to join his delegation for a visit to China just hours before his departure, attributing Huang's inclusion to the CEO's request to participate. The article also touches upon Trump's perspective on Intel's government investment and his plans for divesting the government's stake. This news is from Taiba Thai Sounds. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.